Hello, everybody. This is the Class C NASCAR Trucks open setup at Kansas Speedway. I was delighted to see that something like this was running during week 13, so I can get some racing in. This is Tuesday morning at 11:45 a.m. and over 100 people signed up. For this time of day, that's a lot, but there isn't really a lot of racing to do. So, I'm the number 19 car. Is this top split? If I could click the right thing. No, this is not. That's just a sign of how many people signed up. So, no top split blues for me. Setups are from School of Sim Racing. I'll go out and do a qualifying run, I guess. The most race run I got in was like 12 laps. I don't even know how many laps this race is. I never figured that crap out till the race starts. I don't know if I'm driving it right or not, but my right rear was 1% more worn than my right front, which I feel bodes well for long-term speed. Not getting tight, but I don't want to get loose either. As for the Q setup,
I feel like the track is driving different and the different daylight. I feel like it's a little slicker.
Can't hear you, buddy. The Q lap is full, pedal full to the floor, and hope you don't spin out. With the setup I have anyway. Guess I'm not gonna get a little bit of practice to see that. I'm gonna have to get that under control. So yeah, 2.2 down to 1.6 is a pretty tight split for not. Okay. But Kansas, my very first YouTube video was at this track in the ARCA car. It was a replay of a race I did. It showed like I narrated like the last 5 laps where I chased a guy down and got like a photo finish at the line for 3rd place. It was like a 1,000 strength of field, but at the time it was literally my biggest iRacing highlight ever. And it was sort of just a random idea I had to even record it and put it on YouTube and then start doing this. I mean, I was familiar with others doing YouTube videos. You can see I copy their format pretty much.
Green flag. Okay, here comes your first time lap.
Try to concentrate here. The first lap's probably got to... Is going to be a... It's going to be a run-up lap and throwaway, so that's not a good. That's not going to be a good time. It was pretty much complete night out during practice. I did not get a. Hopefully, this is enough of a run to make it better. Hopefully, I didn't heat the tires up too much, and maybe I've warmed them up enough just to have a little more grip. I don't know. Yeah, it feels better. And look at me gain time there. I'm not entering the corner very well. I'm kind of lurching it in, and then I'm down too low too quickly. Mother of God.
30.7.
Oh well. I'm going to be starting in the back.
Head has just posted a 33.7. You want to watch your water temperature. It's looking a little high. 10th position.
Chicken flag.
32.2, is that what I just qualified with? Yeah, I had a 30.7 in me in practice, so 32.2 is bad. This is real bad. That's okay. I choked that one away. I don't think I was on pace for a 30.7, even with that lap. I was not doing it very well. Make sure we get the race setup in. But yeah, so this is kind of nostalgia for me. I looked at my whole video list. I pretty much don't ever run a race combo that I didn't put out at least one video for. And based on memory and based on my YouTube history,
Your engine temperatures are okay. All clear on engine temperatures.
I've never been back to this track since then. But yeah, I can talk some more. We'll skip ahead to the start of this race. Hopefully not. I'm falling back fast because I'm not going to beat too many people on speed. The lap that counted was not a good lap. We are back. Yeah.
End of the session. P16.
Everyone else who put in a lap beat me, but not everyone put in a lap, so I'm P16 out of 26. I could have been... It doesn't matter. This is a longer race, so hopefully we can make it up. I recognize this name from my last race on video. He was really mad at Nick Neben at the end of the race, but Nick Neben is not in this race. So let's grid up. It is 80 laps. Okay, I don't know how long fuel can go. But I am the 19 car starting 16th. So just gotta survive. This track is definitely, compared to Darlington last week, is a lot easier to drive. Takes less skill, I feel like, to get around this track. I don't want to say there's no skill involved, because the fast people are going to beat the slow people 99 times out of 100. And it's not going to be because of their setup, it's going to be because of their talent. So skill will definitely still come into play. Don't get me wrong. But I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, you're going to see a lot less really bad stuff here than you would at Darlington. But who knows? I'm just hoping not to be a problem out here. I feel like it's easier to not be a problem out here. You got so much room, and but maybe if it goes green a long time. One thing I tried to practice a green flag pit stop, and it wasn't very fast, so I don't know how many of these people will be better than me at that. I usually assume everyone, if we get green flag pit stops.
Good luck, everyone.
We'll see. We'll see.
Good luck. Good luck. I'll try not to spin in the first 2 laps this time.
Follow car number 24 in the outside lane.
Always a good thing to try for. Got the Aflac duck in front of us. I almost was like, oh no, I'm speeding. That always gets me like, no, it doesn't matter right here. In fact, that's one of 2 reasons I eventually finally forced myself to turn off the pit speed limiter. One being, there were races, like if I was way in the front, I'd be holding up a lot of people as my car wouldn't go any faster. And the second reason, I don't know if it's at Class C or if it's Class B, where there's a point where it automatically is turned off. You can't use it. So now it's pretty much ingrained in my head to watch out for the pit speed. Hopefully the outside line bunches up a little better. You lose... My starts are bad, but sometimes I'll analyze it and look, I'm already in a hole too just because of how everyone's bunched up. Like, that red car is so far behind. We're bunching up a little bit, but...
Go, go, go.
Not a great start by everyone. Hopefully I'm not 3 wide or something stupid going into this turn.
Still there. Still there, inside. Clear low. Car high. Still there, hold your line. Still there. Still there, hold your line. Clear high. Outside, clear. Outside.
Y'all fucking stupid going 3 wide and
Still
turn
there.
3.
Full course yellow, watch out.
The yellow flag is out. They want you in single
Race car's out.
5 cars, 23. We're lucky that wasn't us that caused that caution. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, I'm starting to wish I would have qualified higher up just because that was really bad. I was about to say, shouldn't see anything stupid here, first lap.
80 laps, bro. 80 laps.
Supposed to let the 16 by, but I
That's what
don't.
I'm trying to say. Like, why are we sending it 3 wide on turn 3 for a single position on lap 1 of 80?
Is that the 16, I hope? Good. I do not want to get any penalties. Obviously, not going to pit after less than a lap of green flag racing.
Got plenty of fuel.
If I was in the back, I might. Plenty of, man,
Yeah,
that.
it's so fun tooling around at freaking what? 65?
Pit road is closed.
Safety cars out. Pits are closed.
So week 13, I understand why it exists, and I'm not opposed to it, but it's definitely not my favorite time in iRacing. But you can kind of count it as a break, I guess. There's a lot of weird stuff. I ran one once. This is only my second week 13 that I've actually been active during. I believe I ran some sort of Talladega race with...
Guess I was spoiled by my last one. It went green. Oh, flag to flag.
Good for you, buddy. Sorry, I can't be mad at him for assuming somebody's talking to themselves in the background, but it was a Talladega race with the ARCA cars, trucks, and A-class cars at the time. I don't think it was next gen quite yet, but maybe it was. All, you know, so a multi-class, and I ran the ARCA because of those three. It's the only one to this day. No, I own the trucks now. Duh. I'm driving the trucks right now. Back then, it was the only class. I was going to say, they're having a similar one. I believe it was ARCA, Next Gen, and Indy cars on Talladega. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. Those Indy cars going around Talladega, I think they would just destroy everything else, wouldn't they? Maybe, I don't know.
One lap to green.
Get ready. Racing resume at the end of this lap. You've got loads of fuel.
Crew chief thinks I. All right, let's catch up. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. I know we got the whole lap yet, but catch up, catch up, catch up, catch up. It just makes me nervous. Like he might eventually, but can we catch up a little bit?
My bad back there, Connor. I freaking forgot to turn the ignition on.
I'm just being impatient, I guess. I'm
You're good,
just
man, no problem.
guessing that they'll never do it, and I'll be like 5 spots behind the outside row than it should be. I'm not trying to win it all on lap 1, but I have a hard enough time not falling back on my own. I don't need help with it, you know what I mean? Hopefully.
Going green. The pace car
Can't
is
see
on.
the leader anymore. Now I can.
Green flag. Clear high. Okay, Justin. There's a car exiting the pits. Heads up.
Great, car exiting the pits. Hopefully we're by him before he gets up to speed. I think we will be.
You're clear outside.
Yeah, unless he comes up for some dumb reason, we should be good.
Far ahead is Wilson.
Alright, let's just settle in, guys. Long race. Pacing is not fun.
The leader has just done a 33.6. You've just done a 33.9. Got a car high. Still there. The gap to Gibson behind is increasing. It's now 0.9. Clear outside.
Hitting right now. God, I hate how that wall jumped out from the front stretch to the turn right there. I caught it.
P10. That's your quickest lap in this session. He's still there.
Still there, inside.
Still there. They're inside.
If we get a long run, it's going to be a lot about who has tires and who doesn't, I think. I could be wrong. I'm no expert at this type of racing. Maybe nobody will have any tire fall off and it'll just be... Maybe I'm charging too much. I don't know.
P9. It's your first lap in this session.
But I'm happy with where I'm at right now. We're only 10% of the way through the race, so... It's too early to really assume anything about this race, other than hopefully it's not a caution fest. Got a guy charging up behind me. So far I've only been passing and not being passed. I'm not going to fight too hard for positions this early in the race. That would be silly. Saw some sparks, but I don't think it was too much of a wall hit. We'll just...
Okay, Justin. You want to inside to clear.
Yep. Maybe I'm falling off already. I don't know. I can't remember who I've passed and who's passing me. I'm not that good. But, I don't know if these are the people I passed or if these are different people. There are plenty of people who didn't put in a lap. Maybe they wanted the challenge. I don't know. Kind of in a little pack here. I don't like it so much.
Car outside. Car ahead is still there. Hold your line. Clear high. Car outside. Clear high. Car high. Clear outside. Car high. Still there.
I heard bottom 3 wide. Did not like hearing that.
Still there. Clear high. Outside. 2 wide. 8th place. That lap was at 31.8.
Not a big fan
Over
of...
there, don't make.
Not a big fan of how low I had to enter that corner, but I survived. I don't mind running that apron cut down if I'm fairly alone. I don't like doing it in a big pack because I can't just assume somebody's going to leave me room to get back up. And I don't even know what the etiquette of that is. I mean, apparently that's an okay place to race, but... Orange car into the wall. I am going to have to go low here. I'm going to take the apron just to be safe.
7th position. That lap was at 31.8.
14, I'll be clear of him so I can take the high. Car feels pretty good still. I don't feel loose or tight. I'm doing little lifts. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what I feel comfortable with.
Alright, Justin. Lap times are pretty consistent.
That's what I want to hear. Consistent. Although he's not always correct on that. I don't have a delta bar up. News at 11. Justin forgets the delta bar. Was that guy for position? What is he doing? I didn't see a blue name. But yeah, I think I just gained a spot. This is fun, but it's just so different.
Jeez, Jeff, who set up your car? Elon Musk?
From Darlington.
What'd you say?
Said, who set up your car? Elon?
No, I build my own stuff. I just took the open setup
Car
and
leaving the pits.
worked on it.
I wish I had the time and ability to do that.
Time was 31.
Wait a second, it's not a closed setup race.
This is an open setup. I wonder if there's anyone in here who doesn't realize that. I don't know how bad the default setup is. Like I said, full transparency. My setup is not free. But it's also
It's an
not.
open setup race.
Yes, it is.
It's not from one of those setup shops that charges you $10 for one car for 1 week. I pay $5 a month
Increasing. It's now 0.8.
for the trucks, and I get, you know, as long as I'm paying the $5 a month, I get all the setups that come out. You can't download them until the week of, so you can't like pay $5 to download the whole season and cancel. But the guy that runs this website, Tommy Brandon,
So Wilson ahead is now.
you know, he's pretty cool. You can tell he works on them a long time. It's not just some quick thing. And he's got tons of guides and videos and helpful things. I've actually learned quite a bit. I think he's more of a dirt guy, but his page stuff is pretty good too. So when you see me switching setups, and you get a qualifying setup, which is just so different than the race setup. I couldn't even get in within a second of my qualifying lap with the race setup, but you know, the race setup will probably blow up less than a lap after crossing the line, and would just, even if you didn't have engine to worry about, I think it would just kill your car before. It's meant to basically put out one good lap out of 2 and then switch to this for a long run. And he always likes to tune for long runs, which is what I like. Even if the race doesn't go that way, I would rather lose planning for a long run than only have short run speed. It's just not the way I like to run.
The gap to Wilson in
But
front
yeah.
is now 0.8.
I ran any open you see from last season was most likely running his stuff. I never wanted to say it just because there's a little bit of a shame factor out there for using paid setups, but I mean, some of those guys who spam their setups in the chat after the races, and I've looked at them before, and it's like, yeah, $10. It'd be $10 for this setup right now. And if I wanted to race next week, another $10. So basically like $40 a month for one car. And the School of Sim Racing has free setups on their website too. I'm guessing they're more of a one-size-fits-all type thing. I don't know. But there are free alternatives out there, and I want you to know that setup isn't everything. The guys I like to watch, like Nick Deben, Gavin Lemons, Colton Tyndall, pretty sure all 3 of them use the Old School Racing forums setups. And if I got in a race with any one of those guys using this setup's probably better. Could be, it might not be, but I don't think the Old School Racing setups are like the fastest you're gonna find, and they don't have a qualifying setup. But my point is, those guys would still kick my butt. But these setups feel good to me.
Time was at 32.
Help out a guy who seems like a pretty genuine dude. I could be wrong. $4 a month to me.
Wilson in. The gap is 0.6.
It does get expensive, because if I wanted to run Xfinity with the setups, I would have to do another $4 a month. He does have like a $20 a month and you get everything. And he does the modifieds, tour mods, SK mods, trucks, Xfinity, next gen, and all the dirt stuff too. The $20 would get you that too. That's kind of getting into the realm of too much for me to pay for setups, especially since I don't run them enough. Like, if I get to a point where I'm not running trucks very often, I'll quit that subscription. Because $4 or $5 is still $5. Green and red cars falling off. I've been just kind of blathering, and I've noticed we've caught the green and red car, and I've stayed with the 11 this whole time.
The gap behind is now 3.8.
Fucking Joseph, get the goddamn hell out of the way, Joshua.
Whoa. Feel a little unstable. Hey, what are you doing, dude?
Car outside. Hold your line.
Not a big fan of how the 7's racing.
Clear high.
Clear outside.
But we got around him. I think this.
P5. The lap time was at 32.9.
If we do have to pit under green, I'm probably going to lose a lot of time. I'm notorious about it. I need to. Here's one thing I'm looking forward to, and I'm not sure. I thought maybe it's coming out with this new build coming up in a couple days. Is the rewind? I don't remember what they called it, but like I could set right here as a callback point, and then or wherever, and then try something, and then hit a button to immediately return to that exact situation.
Slow car download.
One thing that would help me do is practice pit entries without having to like get up to speed every time. And on road courses it'd be really good for practicing specific sections of the track that you struggle with. The main thing I could see using it for oval, since you come around often enough that a reset seems silly, is just for pit entry. It'd be like, well, that was, you know, set it far enough back that each time you reset, you're not too far ahead to make a good pit entry, you know what I mean? But like, oh, that was too hard. Oh, that mark is just a little too short. Oh, here's a good spot to like turn in, you know. How hard should I brake or whatever? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Sounds cool as hell. Some people are so against it because it's not, you couldn't do that in a real race car, but I mean, come on. I'm starting to feel a little not great, so that's not good. Let me kind of concentrate and see if I can reel this back in. No idea what lap we're on, or what my fuel situation's like.
14.9 gallons.
I don't...
Meat Shack or whatever the hell your name is, you're bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, I just saw one bar spike. It looks like it fixed itself though. Let me know if it still keeps doing.
If you don't know how to pronounce someone's name,
Roger that.
Your lap time was
I think the worst thing you can do is so-and-so, or whatever that, however the hell you say your name. Just say their number. That's just me. That seemed really mean. However the hell you say your name.
P5.
I'm loose. This guy's got new tires, I'm pretty sure.
Clear inside.
Does show you that there is a bit of fall off involved.
Okay, Justin. That's good consistency. Keep it up.
Alright, if you're gonna pass the new tires, then pass, please. See him up on the wall up there. Or at least that's what it looked like. I don't know, do we cut this in half? Keeping in mind that half is really a little after half because we had a lot of pacing after the first caution. I'm thinking I wouldn't mind doing that because I am definitely falling off and starting to have a little bit of an issue controlling my car.
The gap to Wilson ahead is now 0.7. You've just done a 32.8.
We got session best up. That's what I wanted. I'm glad I went right to that. To see how much fall off we got. Looks like we're going to have over a second on these tires. So there is something to be gained for pitting. Yeah, 1.25 I'm off from my best. But I'm happy. I mean, 5th place on this long of a run. I'm nowhere near the leader, but I'm not going to record a bunch of the same race all week, but if this is something I can perform well in, I might run it a few times. Of course, every time I think that, like, ARCA last week, IRP, I had literally gained I rating 4 straight times. I was up to 1800. I was like, I'm going to run it one more time. I was getting pretty cocky. I was finishing top 3, top 5 every time. And it was qualifying up towards the front. I ran one more, and something that never happened to me ever in practice in a race is I got squirrely on the front stretch and I couldn't catch it, and I turned up in front of the pack. And I bailed out of shame. I looked later and I got last place and lost about 70 I ratings. And that was the last thing I did. That was after running. That was I ran after my farewell race for the Peppa-mobile. I ran again and got up to over 1800, and then I ran again, and that's when that happened. So yeah, farming I rating with a combo you're good at is just, I don't know. And why would I want to farm I rating? It just gets me into races with people I can't compete with.
I still get you.
That lap time was 32.8.
You broke up a little bit there, bud.
Am I still bouncing, blinking?
14.6
not right now.
gallons.
Here's the sort of thing that makes me an amateur at this. Is I'm like 14.6 gallons. I have no concept of how big of a tank this truck holds. Like, is that a half tank? Or like, when would I... And the Race Labs has a thing that I should probably bring up. I know that's what Nick uses to calculate his fuel. I believe the black box also has a simple thing
32.8.
that'll estimate laps left. Maybe I could try to get that up. I mean, if the leader pits, I'm not gonna dink around too much after that. Yeah, I think that means I can get around an estimated 11. And there's usually a call like you got about 5 laps of fuel, so I'm not too worried about running out of fuel. It's just I don't know what I'm doing. I've stayed with this 11. He's gained a little on me, pulled away, or he's pulled away, I've gained, pulled away, gained, but for the most part, I've been with him. Meanwhile, I got 1.4 behind me.
You've just done a 32.9.
Am I in fourth because somebody pit? I'm assuming. I would like to go just a couple more laps. I don't want to get lapped and be screwed, you know? I also don't want to be out here with a bunch of fast, slow cars coming around me and making it scary. Halfway in the race. Like 1 or 2 more laps would cut the run in half, I think. Guy behind is pitting.
Half distance should be about 7 laps of fuel left.
I think next time by I'm going to pit. I wish I could watch someone else do it. Is he pitting?
What line do you want, Brody?
Yep, got to pit. That was not good. Lost way too much time there. So I am okay with the idea that I might lose a couple positions due to bad pitting.
Gap to Wilson ahead is now 0.8. What's your speed limit in the pits? Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles per hour.
I'm sure that is just seconds slower than most people.
Temperatures are looking better now.
I'm also just bad at pulling into my stall.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
As I do it again. I'm like, I'm hitting the brakes too hard. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So it's bad. I'm losing seconds, and I'm okay with that.
We're done. Get going.
Don't speed.
There's a car approaching. Don't cross the white line.
There's also this part of it. You don't want to be slow through here, but I have spun out doing this. Just goof, you know, not trying very hard to, but it'll catch you by surprise. This isn't really a... Alright. None of that was great, but... we'll see where we cycle out, assuming caution doesn't come out to screw me. Tires were 75, 76, so pretty even wear. Not what I want to see is a slow guy and a fast guy. I don't know what to do here.
Outside. He's still there. Clear outside. Clear.
Was I ahead of the 8 before this?
12.
Heck if I know.
Nice job,
The
3.
is increasing. It's now
Very clean
6.3.
getting in here.
The lead was pitting now.
Oh, that guy's a lap down. Well, I don't need to worry about him. Hopefully he just drives away and I don't have to try to get around him at some point. So I feel like I can just run it like I ran it that last run, assuming it goes green the whole way, and hopefully could end up cycling out in the top 10. John Jr. is up there. I know he's not prone to letting lapped guys by, but he is prone to letting people he's racing by, much to the chagrin of the Nick Nebens of the world.
Alright, Justin. There's a car exit in the pits. Heads up.
Hopefully that's a position.
8th place.
Alright, I'm at least 8th.
Water temperature looks quite high.
2 car pitting in, pitting in, pitting in.
That's John Jr. Will I be ahead of him after this? He stayed out a couple more laps than me, but I don't know how far ahead of me he was.
The car ahead's pitting. The lead car's pitting now.
There's more people pitting. Maybe I'll end up still.
P5.
Okay, well, I'm already where I was, I think. It's entirely possible that everyone sucks at pitting and even my horrible pit wasn't bad. In top split, that'd probably be a different story. Like I said, a day will come where I start getting better at that, and I'll start focusing energy on that.
The captain, Keller, in front is now.
I understand in a race like this that goes green this long, there is a lot to be gained and lost there. And I'm not just talking about me overshooting the stall, although that wasn't good. I'm talking about the entry as well.
Lap was at 31.8.
But yeah, this, you know, I'm not advertising for the school sim racing, but the setup is just so stable. I don't know how it would do in a top split. It's what I was running at Darlington, but you can't blame the setup for me hitting the wall 18 times.
Wilson is gaining on you. The gap's now 4.0 seconds.
So,
P4.
my pit was awful, but in this split, apparently it gained me time. Gotta keep in mind how
That's
some
good,
people
man. Come
stayed
on.
out longer, but Adam Wilson was the guy in front of me, now he's 3.7 behind.
Why are you a lap down racing the leader like that? It's ridiculous.
Trying to stay on the lead lap, dude. I mean, come on.
That's just not right. If you're so
I'm
far...
racing my race, you're racing your race. I mean, I held my line. You just put me right into the wall.
Car low. Keep high. Clear low.
That guy had super old tires, or what's going on? Yeah, he hasn't pit since lap 14. He's one of those guys that was randomly pitting earlier in the race, don't know why. Maybe they're on a two-stopper strategy. Or maybe he had damage. Adam Wilson is definitely gaining back on me, probably because he has a little bit fresher tires now than me.
That lap time was 32.2.
I just didn't want to stay out too long on the old tires, especially since I was starting to struggle a little bit. Not terribly, but enough. But yeah, this number 8 in front of me is faster. I'm guessing he's only a lap down due to poor circumstances, not speed. We pitted at the same time, it looks like. On the same lap, anyway.
0.2 gallons. Clear to Wilson. Behind is now 2.7.
I hope crew chief is wrong that I still need 0.2 gallons. I just assumed I was pitting. That's where I need to get better. Like, or did other people stay out because they knew they couldn't make it? That being said, you start using less and less throttle as the run goes on, and even one caution. Not that I want one. Would pretty much eat into that. Starting to catch this guy again. I'm just hoping if I do get to where he's holding me up, he's smart enough to see that racing me is pointless. For both of us. I mean, if you don't care about the guy passing you, cool, but you're hurting yourself by racing him for no reason too, you know? That's what always gets me when people do that. Unless they're just vengeful. My race is ruined, so screw everyone else. And I realize I'm giving motives to a guy that... How did I get to P3? I mean, I'm not complaining. But how? Alright.
31.8.
Since I still can be caught from behind,
Wilson behind is now 2.3
Thank you.
seconds.
I really would appreciate it if I didn't have to race this guy.
Car outside. Still there.
Hold your line.
Still there.
Stay low. There is a car on the high side.
Hold your line. Clear high.
Side is clear.
I feel like he backed out of it a little bit, but
Your last lap time was...
I'm not mad. He did good. I'm too low on the track right now. He's gonna get a freaking run on me. I don't want... Alright, I'll just shut up. Just race your race. My throat is hoarse. I hope I'm not getting sick again. Red car went low. Appreciate that. Meanwhile, if I'm the 8, there is something to be said where you're like, I'll let the lead guy go. I wish he would just pull away too. I get that, and I want to. Don't get me wrong. We're close enough on speed where it's not so cut and dry, you know. The red car that just let us by obviously is never going to be seen again unless we come up behind him again.
The lap time was at 32.0. Wilson is reeling you in. The gap's now 1.0.
Oh my god, Wilson's flying. That's okay. He was ahead of me that whole last run. I'm not going to try. I'm not, you know... 21, 22 laps to go. It's way too early to just sit and try to race him, and I don't even know. How do you defend here? There's so many ways you can go about passing, I think. We'll keep more of an eye on the 17 gap. Like, if I could stay in 4th, because I'm already 2 spots ahead of where I was when I pitted in. Imagine if my pit didn't suck so bad. I'm sure I lost... I don't know how the number 1's pit was, but there's a chance I lost 3-4 seconds. To him, even. Maybe not. Yeah, Wilson's in my mirror, like I said. I don't know where he wants to take me, but... wherever he chooses, I'm just gonna let it happen. He reeled me in from 4 seconds back. in what feels like 10 laps.
That lap time was 32.2.
I'll let you by here, 11. You're clearly faster.
Car inside. Clear inside.
Thank you.
No problem. I saw you caught me from 4 seconds back in like 10 laps, so I was like, I'll get out of his way when he gets here.
P4. That last lap was at 32.7.
Why did my truck suddenly go left like that? I don't know if I got something on my wheel. I noticed that in another race. I hope not, because one thing that'll pretty much put me on hiatus for a while is if I have to buy a new wheel. It'll make me wish I didn't just spend money on these monitors, that's for sure. I don't think it's the wheel. I think it's just... I don't know. Let's just not think about it. Now, if that was like 2 laps to go, maybe I would have tried taking away his line or being slow in front of him and try to hold it off, because, you know. But
Hey, Kevin.
I just didn't see any point. It would just slow me down
Yeah.
trying to defend.
Think we'll beat Pittsburgh next week?
And John Jr. is
I hope
catching me
so.
out of nowhere, so yeah, it's looking like 5th.
Me
Maybe
too.
even 6th.
Like to see him win it all.
And I'm okay with any of those spots.
You've just done a 32.5.
Yeah, their defense
See-
needs to improve some, I think.
John Jr. pitted so much later that I passed him on the track,
Yeah,
but
it's hard to tell what's going to go on so early.
we'll see. 14 laps, 2.7. Maybe I can pick up my speed. I feel like I'm too careful sometimes. Not on this turn, though. I had to let off or I was going into the wall. Well, John Jr.'s now 3.2. Well, let's not just give up this spot. We'll wait till he gets here. Maybe he'll get here. We know he has no compulsions about racing people hard, even if he's slower, so... It's kind of crazy you start recognizing people. I had a car in a ARCA race a couple days ago that... Something happened to him early, and then he rode around on the bottom at like quarter speed the whole race. Nobody knew what he was doing. And then at the end, he made 2 crappy attempts at taking out the leader. Then he was in my next race that I did off camera, because I remembered the name and the paint scheme. And I got a bad vibe about the way he was driving, and I backed off and never even challenged him, and I just was like happy with 6th or whatever I ran that whole race. He never wrecked anyone, and his moves were so erratic, and I saw him lose spots and gain spots, and people were good to avoid some of his moves, it looked like, more than he was clean about it. So you just start recognizing...
What line you want one?
You start recognizing people, and you start knowing how they race. Now, it's harder to do in something like
Sorry, I
this.
couldn't hear you.
What line do you want?
I noticed that the top splits that get the same people all the time, that's where you really get to know people. Don't hit the wall, please. Thank you. Okay, I gotta back it down a little more, I think. That was not great.
If I can keep it on the wall.
I don't know how far back John Jr. is, because there's 4 blue names in between us now. I can look at my other screen. That doesn't show. That just shows fastest time and standings. I should probably set... I think I gotta buy the paid version of Race Labs. I could probably see that gap over there, too. I just see position and fastest lap. Anyway, he's back on the relative. He's still 3.1. He's not... I would love to hold on to 4th. kind of back to the way our last run was going. Adam's ahead of me, but he's not sailing off into the distance. He's probably leveling off a little now. I think this setup that I got is pretty damn consistent. It's not a rocket ship, at least in the hands of me. But it's not falling off a ton. I mean, it's fallen off a second and a half, but everybody's fallen off some. Try to reel in Adam. But no, not going to drive out of my limits to do so. Currently, I'm just happy as can be at 4th place. I hope there's no caution, by the way. That would just... To throw a swear word out there, that would just fuck everything all up. We'll all pit. I have less of a time screwing up pitting under caution, although I can still overshoot the pit stall. And you can still lose time.
You've just done a 32.5.
12, you're making me nervous. Here's another reason. I'm not saying I'm gonna get Adam at the end. And maybe he's backing off just because of this unpredictable number 12. But had I wore up my stuff fighting him, I'd probably be looking at John Jr. already on my tail, and maybe not have a chance to get him back when the result was inevitable. He was going to get around me. Had that.
Keep it low, Chris. Keep it low, Chris.
Clear outside.
Please keep it low. Whatever he's saying.
Thank you, sir.
We do not want a caution. We do not want a caution. I have no delusions of grandeur that a caution catching me up to the leaders would get me a chance to win it. If I did, then maybe I would want one. But if I was fast enough to stay with the leaders, I would already be with them. I don't have short run speed. Although I didn't really go backwards at the start. But I wasn't up with the fast guys either, so...
Thank you.
No, I'll take this 4th with a chance for maybe 3rd. I don't want to do something stupid to take Adam out, though. We've been near each other all race, and it's been clean. Red car is right in the worst spot. Here's where the 3 monitors is amazing. I knew where the red car was, where I wouldn't have known before. I knew I had a ton of room to get back up the track. This is about where the car starts feeling a little weird. It didn't feel great there, although my line was probably compromised. Gotta back out. I went in too hot. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna gain on Adam. Unless something happens with a lap car. But then I would feel bad about gaining the position that way. I would take it still. But I wouldn't be like hooting and hollering, yay, you're top 3. Yeah. The end of the run, the car just starts being a little different. You can just feel it all of a sudden. I don't think, unless I totally goof up, I'm going to lose a spot to John Jr. now. So despite my pit being awful, I gained out of that cycle. Only 1 spot in the long run, assuming this finishes this way. I'm fully aware that there's still time for things to go wrong. I really want the leader to take the white flag. I don't know how far ahead that leader is. Well, it does show the gap over there. I'm just used to seeing decimal points. I'm 13 seconds behind the leader, if anyone was curious. It shows the gap to the leader, not the gap to each other. That's what it shows.
Keep it low, please. Keep it low, please. Thank you.
Oh, I forgot about being worried about fuel, but apparently it was nothing to worry about. Like I said, even if that was true at the time... Alright, leader's taking the white. That means the caution can't screw us. John Jr. will not gain on me if I don't spin out. I will not gain on Adam unless he completely biffs it. And that's fine with me. I am I am happy with this. Just got to get around one more half track. Almost hit the wall on my very last corner.
P4, that's the finish. Well done.
Chicken flag, chicken flag.
Right there.
That was fun. Good race, everyone.
Job.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. Good job, everyone.
Good win, 5. I pitted too early.
I just didn't have the speed.
I didn't have a high fast lap in me, but the setup was really consistent, I feel.
I had like 30 seconds to right front damage here. I would have been a tiny bit faster. Still really fun.
Yeah, my qualifying was bad. But hey, I started 16th, finished 4th. Yeah, I guess me and Adam just had a similar. He started one behind, finished one ahead, so he had a better hard charger thing going on than me, but tires. I'm like trying to hit up. You can check it in the garage. 72. Ooh, I wasn't quite as nice on them in the second run. Glad the race ended when it did. The heck was that noise? All right. Let us get a far chase camera. Want to aim it too low or it'll cut into the track. Go a little farther back. Yeah. Yeah, see, I passed, I'm pointing at my screen like you can see, I passed the car, no, the green and red car at some point in that first run. I never saw him again. So, I'm gonna see something on the first lap. So was it this guy? So they were complaining about 3 wide, but what really happened is Steven Smith got loose and could the 21 have done a better job? You see he's getting loose. Is he on the... I don't know. It's hard to say. But the 13 collected a lot of cars. And that's part of what got me a lot of the spots. Well, watch me. I don't think it was very eventful for me. I saw it coming and I was able to avoid it pretty easily. How far ahead did I skip? Well, watch me go through it, because there's not going to be a whole lot other than maybe some wall hits, which I don't think is going to be quite like Darlington. Yeah, he got loose. If this guy wouldn't have hit him, I think we would have all survived there. Yeah, I was just fortunate enough to go underneath it all. And that guy ended up having to go through pit lane, it looks like. Alright. We saw that. Pretty sure I never grabbed the wall. Did I come around this? I feel like I remember the 12 being really off pace. Maybe it wasn't the 12. Doesn't matter. Let's move on. Affleck. Into the wall. 3 wide. Oh, yeah, I remember. Well, I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't have been under them 3 wide. But, I mean, I was I don't know. You can see that. I can see these replay on all monitors. You can barely see my car coming into the monitor, but just trust me when I say I am on the white line by the grass right here. Because I heard 3 wide, I'm like, get as low as you can. So, Maybe that guy heard 3 wide and couldn't see me underneath. Most improved, hitting the wall. Alright. I'm here for more juicy. I'm not gonna... If it looks like there's a potential for car contact, maybe. It's these same guys. But if it's just little dinky wall hits, I don't care. I'm thinking maybe 3rd place could have been mine had I had a better pit. So that's something to take away from that. Because what did I finish less than a second behind the guy ahead of me? John Jr. taking it through the grass. That is part of what got me around him, probably. I mean, that's early on, I guess, but... Not super interested in wall hits. 8 struggling. Here we go. Oh. That could have been a caution, but it wasn't, luckily. I always get texts from Life Serve, I think it's called. They're always after my O negative blood. I don't live near them anymore, so I can't donate to them specifically anymore. I don't think I had any car contacts or any wall contacts in this race. Alright. Brody Storch, winner of the race. Good job to him. We come home in P4. Half a second off of P3. I lost more than half a second getting into the pits and overshooting my stall, so I don't think I lost this much time doing that, so I lost a position from it. But I also gained positions throughout the cycle. One person never showed people from the first. I mean, it was basically, other than that first caution, it was a green flag run the whole way, so that was pretty fun. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure how much content's coming out this week. I might run this again, but I'm not gonna record it again. And I might buy the new dirt track when it comes out and run that, because there's gonna be a 358 mod race, I think. Maybe I'll try a Mazda race. We'll see. Thanks for watching.